Have you ever wondered why some people inspire entire teams while others just enforce rules? What truly separates a leader from a manager might shock you. In every organization, you'll find two types of people, those who lead and those who manage. At first glance, their roles might seem similar, both aim to get results. But when you look closer, the difference is striking. Leadership isn't just about telling people what to do. It's about inspiring, motivating, and creating a vision that others want to follow. Management, on the other hand, focuses on structure, processes, and efficiency. Throughout this video, we'll explore the core roles, essential skills, and real-life examples that separate leaders from managers. By the end, you'll understand not only the differences, but also how you can harness the power of both to excel in your career. Before we dive in, I want you to think about this. Which do you believe you are more like, a natural leader or a skilled manager? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because your perspective matters. And trust me, by the time we're done, you might just rethink how you approach work, influence, and even your own personal growth. Leadership and management often get used interchangeably, but they are fundamentally different. At its core, leadership is about vision. A leader sees beyond the immediate, imagining possibilities where others see obstacles. Management, by contrast, is about execution. A manager ensures that processes run smoothly, deadlines are met, and tasks are completed efficiently. Think of a startup company. The founder, often the visionary, sets the direction, inspiring the team with passion and a sense of purpose. Meanwhile, the operations manager ensures that production schedules are on track, resources are allocated wisely, and every department is functioning cohesively. Both roles are essential, but without the vision of a leader, a company may drift aimlessly. And without management, even the best vision can collapse under chaos. So, how do you recognize leadership in action? It's the person who doesn't just solve problems, they anticipate them, innovate, and bring others along willingly. Management is recognized by the one who maintains order, optimizes workflow, and make sure everyone knows their responsibilities. A common misconception is that leaders are always managers and managers are always leaders. In reality, the most effective professionals can distinguish when to lead and when to manage, adapting their approach depending on the situation. But here's the twist: leadership is not just a position, it's a skill. Someone can manage a team perfectly but fail to inspire anyone. Conversely, someone with strong leadership qualities might struggle with the details that management demands. Understanding this balance is the first step toward professional mastery. Now, let's pause for a second. Imagine being in a team where everyone is a manager, rules are followed, tasks completed, but no one is truly inspired. Frustrating, right? Conversely, a team full of leaders without managers might chase brilliant ideas, but never see them implemented. Which side do you feel drawn to? The visionary leader or the process-oriented manager? Keep this question in mind, it'll become clearer as we explore real-world examples in the next chapters. And here's a subtle thought to linger. Could your success depend less on what you do and more on how you choose to lead or manage? When we talk about leadership and management, it's easy to get lost in definitions, but the differences become clear when we examine their roles. Leaders are visionaries. They focus on people, relationships, and long-term impact. Managers, on the other hand, focus on systems, structures, and short-term goals. Consider a marketing team. The leader might inspire the team with a bold campaign idea that could redefine the brand. They motivate the team, encourage creative thinking, and foster a culture of innovation. The manager ensures that the campaign launches on time, the budget is tracked, tasks are delegated efficiently, and every member knows their responsibility. Leaders ask, "Why are we doing this?" Managers ask, "How do we do this?" That single difference in approach shapes the entire outcome. Leaders challenge assumptions and push boundaries. Managers minimize risk and ensure consistency. Both are crucial, but their focus and methods are distinct. Another way to see it, leadership is about influence, management is about control. A leader can persuade, inspire, and energize people to follow a vision. A manager can enforce rules, streamline workflows, and maintain accountability. One nurtures growth, the other ensures stability. Here's something you might not have considered. Sometimes, the best managers fail because they try to lead without inspiring, and the best leaders fail because they neglect management. Balance is everything. The secret is knowing when to step into each role. Pause for thought. Imagine a company led only by leaders. Innovation thrives, but deadlines slip and chaos ensues. A company run only by managers might operate like a well-oiled machine, but lack creativity, adaptability, or passion. Where do you want to be in this spectrum? And a small nudge for reflection. Mastery isn't about being a leader or a manager, it's about knowing which hat to wear and when. Leadership isn't just about holding a title, it's about what you bring to the table. At its heart, leadership requires a unique set of skills that inspire, motivate, and guide people toward a common vision. One of the most critical skills is emotional intelligence. A leader must understand not only their own emotions, but also those of their team members. This empathy allows them to build trust, resolve conflicts, and create a culture where people feel valued. Another vital skill is communication. But not just any communication, clear, authentic, and motivating. Leaders are storytellers. They convey a vision in a way that others can see themselves as part of it. It's the difference between saying, "We need to hit our sales targets," and "Imagine how our work can transform the lives of our customers and bring pride to our team." Decision-making is also central. Leaders make tough choices, often under uncertainty, and stand by them. They don't shy away from responsibility. And perhaps most importantly, leaders embrace adaptability. The world changes rapidly, and a leader who clings to outdated methods will lose credibility fast. Here's a subtle distinction. Skills like delegation, strategic thinking, and inspiration define leadership, while tasks like scheduling, budgeting, and organizing define management. A leader may rely on managers to execute details, but without leadership skills, even the best plan can falter. Think for a moment. Who do you know that seems to effortlessly inspire others? What makes them different from someone who merely manages tasks? Often, it's these intangible skills: empathy, vision, resilience that create influence beyond authority. And here's a question to leave with. Could sharpening just one leadership skill today dramatically change the way people follow you tomorrow? While leaders inspire, managers organize. Management is a skill set rooted in planning, coordination, and precision. One of the most crucial skills for a manager is organization. Managers ensure that every task, every deadline, and every resource is accounted for. Without this, even the most talented team can fall into chaos. Another key skill is problem solving. Managers are often the first line of defense when processes break down. They analyze the situation, identify the bottleneck, and implement solutions efficiently. While a leader might dream big, the manager ensures that dream is achievable and sustainable. Time management is also vital. A manager must prioritize tasks, allocate resources wisely, and ensure that projects progress smoothly. They create systems and workflows that reduce friction and maximize productivity. Then there's attention to detail. Small mistakes can snowball into major issues, and managers are the ones who catch these before they escalate. They enforce standards, maintain consistency, and ensure accountability. It's important to note that strong managers can still motivate, but their motivation comes from clarity, fairness, and support rather than vision alone. They enable others to perform at their best by creating structure, reducing uncertainty, and minimizing distractions. Here's a thought to consider. A team with brilliant ideas, but poor management often fails, not because of lack of talent, but because of poor execution. Conversely, a team with excellent managers, but no vision may execute flawlessly, but achieve little impact. And a reflective nudge for you. Could your ability to manage effectively be the difference between a project that succeeds and one that merely survives? Understanding leadership and management becomes crystal clear when we look at real-life examples. Take Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple. He was a visionary leader. Jobs inspired his team with a mission to create products that changed the world. He wasn't focused on micromanaging spreadsheets or schedules. Instead, he motivated people to think differently, push boundaries, and innovate relentlessly. Contrast that with Tim Cook, Apple's CEO after Jobs. Cook is an exceptional manager, He ensures that Apple's complex global operations run smoothly. From supply chain logistics to product launches, Cook may not inspire the same visionary passion, but he guarantees execution at a level that makes innovation sustainable. Another example comes from sports. Think of a basketball team. The head coach might serve as a manager, organizing plays, strategies, and rotations. Meanwhile, the team captain often acts as a leader, inspiring teammates, lifting morale, and modeling dedication. Both roles are essential to winning games. In everyday work life, this distinction can be subtle but impactful. A team member might follow a manager's instructions precisely, yet feel uninspired, or they might rally behind a leader's vision but struggle without proper structure. The key is balance. Here's a small insight. Organizations that survive and thrive usually have a blend of strong leaders and strong managers. Leaders spark growth, managers sustain it. Without either, even talented teams falter. And a thought to leave lingering: could recognizing who in your team is a leader versus a manager transform how you collaborate and achieve results? Leadership is not one size fits all. Great leaders understand that different situations demand different approaches, and the most effective ones can shift their style without losing authenticity. Let's explore the major leadership styles and why they matter more than most people realize. One of the most well-known styles is transformational leadership. This type of leader pushes people toward growth, inspiring them to evolve beyond their limitations. Transformational leaders challenge old patterns, encourage creativity, and ignite passion. Think of a teacher who makes you believe you can achieve more than you ever imagined. Their power comes from unlocking what already exists within others. But transformational leadership works best when teams crave change, innovation, and purpose. Then there's transactional leadership. This one is more structured, focused on rewards, performance tracking, and clear expectations. Transactional leaders thrive in environments where efficiency, precision, and consistency matter most. Consider a sales manager who measures targets and rewards high performers. Their strength lies in clarity. While they may not ignite deep inspiration, they create stability, accountability, and predictable results. A third style is servant leadership, a deeply powerful yet often overlooked approach. Servant leaders put people first. They listen more than they speak, empower more than they direct, and lift others up rather than standing above them. These leaders create loyalty, trust, and unity. They show that leadership is not about authority, it's about responsibility. This style shines in organizations that value community and collaboration. Now let's look at autocratic leadership. This style is direct, commanding, and decisive. Autocratic leaders operate with clear hierarchy, quick decisions, and strong control. While they often face criticism for being overly strict, this approach is surprisingly effective in crises when swift decisions are necessary. Imagine a team in an emergency situation. They need a strong, confident leader who can take charge instantly. Autocratic leadership may not nurture creativity, but it stabilizes chaos on the opposite end. We find democratic leadership. These leaders involve their team in decisions, encourage input, and value shared ownership. It's ideal for problem solving and innovation, where diverse perspectives fuel better solutions. Democratic leadership builds connection and boosts morale because people feel heard. But it requires time, and not every situation allows for prolonged discussion. Lastly, there's laissez-faire leadership, where leaders step back and grant teams full freedom. This style empowers highly skilled individuals who don't need constant direction. It fosters independence and innovation, perfect for research teams, creative studios, and expert-driven fields. But when people lack self-discipline or experience, laissez-faire leadership can quickly lead to confusion. So how do you know which style is right for you? The secret lies in self-awareness. Leadership isn't about adopting a rigid identity, it's about understanding your strengths, your team's needs, and the environment you're operating in. Great leaders blend multiple styles seamlessly. They inspire when needed, direct when required, and step back when others should step forward. Imagine walking into a room full of people with completely different motivations. Some need structure, others need freedom. Some crave inspiration, others want clarity. A one-dimensional leader can't reach everyone, but an adaptable one can. Here's something subtle yet powerful. Your leadership style often reflects your worldview. If you see potential in people, you lean toward transformational or servant leadership. If you see the world as predictable and structured, transactional leadership may feel natural. Neither is right or wrong, only situational. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, when pressure rises, do I naturally inspire, direct, listen, or control? Your instinct reveals more about your leadership identity than any title ever could. And here's today's reflection spark. What if the leadership style you resist the most is the exact skill that could unlock your next level? At the highest levels of performance, success depends on far more than skill or strategy. It depends on emotional presence. Leadership taps directly into the heart connection, purpose, vision. Management anchors itself in the mind, logic, process, consistency. But when the two meet, something extraordinary happens. People feel both safe and inspired. Great leaders recognize emotional states before they become conflicts. They sense when energy drops, when stress rises, or when motivation starts fading. Managers, on the other hand, stabilize emotions by providing clarity, structure, and predictability. Picture a team facing a sudden setback. The leader lifts spirits, reframes the challenge, and restores belief. The manager sets up a recovery plan, organizes tasks, and keeps progress moving. Emotion plus execution, this balance drives resilience. But here's the hidden truth. Most professionals fail not because they lack skill, but because they ignore the emotional layer of work. Teams don't quit companies, they quit feelings. They quit environments that drain them. So ask yourself, do I raise the emotional quality of a room, or do I lower it? This question may reveal more about your leadership and management style than any textbook ever could. The modern workplace no longer rewards those who choose between leadership and management. It rewards those who combine both. The future belongs to hybrid professionals, individuals who can inspire like leaders, yet execute like managers. Imagine someone who brings vision, but also understands workflow. Someone who motivates people, yet also sets clear expectations. Someone who dreams big, yet respects the details. That combination is rare, but it is learnable. And the moment you master it, you become irreplaceable. Leadership answers the question, where are we going? Management answers the question, how will we get there? The person who can answer both becomes the one others naturally follow. So here's the final spark. What if the strongest version of you is not the leader or the manager, but the one who becomes both effortlessly? Leadership and management are not rivals. They are two halves of greatness. One gives direction. The other gives structure. One expands possibility. The other makes possibility real. When you learn to balance both within yourself, you step into a level of effectiveness that very few people ever reach. It doesn't matter if you're running a business, leading a team, managing a project, or simply trying to improve your own life. You need vision and discipline, inspiration and architecture, heart and strategy. This dual mastery is where true growth begins. So let me ask you one last question. Are you ready to become the kind of person others willingly follow and confidently rely on? Because that's the real transformation. If this journey opened your perspective even a little, consider staying connected. There are more insights, more tools, and more deep dive breakdowns coming. And your presence here shapes the conversations ahead. Share your thoughts below, and if you feel aligned with this kind of content, you know what to do next.